Hello. Hello, and good evening to all of my friends. Friends, now we start our program. મિત્રો બહુ સમયથી જે પ્રોગ્રામની રાહ જોવાની સાહેબ જોડે ઘણીવાર અમારે ચર્ચા થાય કોકવાર અમારા તારીખ સેટ થતા તો કોકવાર સાહેબ ના થાય પણ આજે ફાઇનલી આપણી વચ્ચે તે બહુ જ મોટી હસ્તી ઉપસ્થિત છે તો શરૂઆતમાં તો આપણી જે ભારતીય પ્રણાલી છે તે મુજબ ફૂલની પાકડી આપીને આપણે એમનું સ્વાગત કરીશું તો સૌપ્રથમ હું આપણા એસોસિએશનના પ્રમુખ શ્રી ડોક્ટર શ્યામસુંદર શર્મા સાહેબને વિનંતી કરીશ કે તેઓ અવસરને ડોક્ટર હિમાંશુ નાયક સાહેબને ભૂકી આપશે ડોક્ટર સાહેબ ડોક્ટર જ્યોતિબેન ભાવસારને વિનંતી કરીશ કે તેઓ ડોક્ટર વિભા નાયકને ભૂકી આપશે આપણા એસોસિએશનના પ્રમુખ શ્રી ડોક્ટર મનોજ રાણા સાહેબને વિનંતી કરીશ કે તેઓ હિમાંશુ નાયક સાહેબને ભૂકી આપશે જોઈન્ટ સેક્રેટરી ડોક્ટર વિજય પટેલ સાહેબને વિનંતી કરીશ કે તેઓ સાથે આવેલા ડોક્ટર મિત્ર ડોક્ટર સંતોષભાઈને ભૂકી આપશે ફરીથી એકવાર હું જાતે ડોક્ટર દાસિયાણી મેડમનો ભૂકી સ્વાગત કરું આપણા એસોસિએશનના પૂર્વ પ્રમુખ શ્રી ડોક્ટર કાકવા સાહેબ એમણે વિનંતી કરી છે કે તેઓ નાયક સાહેબને ભૂકી આપશે મિત્રો હવે વધુ સમય ન લેતા બહુ સારા ટોપિક છે અને હવે હું નેક્સ્ટ પ્રેઝન્ટેશન માટે ડોક્ટર વિજય પટેલને માઇક આપીશ
Good evening, all friends. As you all know that our association regularly arranges CME program, and in this year, I think we made a record of arranging CME, and we will keep it for next year also. And as a part of that continuous medical education, today again we are going to get, or we can say that we are going to serve the knowledge, good knowledge on a few topics by a very experienced, talented speaker, Dr. Himanshu Nayak from Baroda, and Dr. Mrs. Vibha Nayak. Dr. Himanshu Nayak, plastic surgeon, one of the well-known plastic surgeon of Baroda, and Dr. Mrs. Vibha Nayak, hematologist and oncologist, both practicing in Baroda since 1995. Dr. Himanshu Nayak specialized especially for plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery, and Madam Gold medalist and first DM in oncology and hematology to start practice in Gujarat. So we are very lucky and very fortunate that we today will get knowledge by such experienced doctors, and it is a great achievement for our association also that we are able to get such person in a CME program of our association. So I would like to welcome today's speaker and મિત્રોને વિનંતી કરીશ કે જોરદાર તાળીઓથી એમનું સ્વાગત કરીશું. And I also welcome you all in lovely evening, because outside there is a rain and still you are over here. So again I heartily welcome you all. So without wasting time, we will start our program. So today we will have two sessions. Dr. Vibha Nayak will give knowledge about the recent advance in hematology and oncology, and Dr. Himanshu Nayak will give knowledge about the plastic surgery and overview. So first of all, I would like to invite Dr. Vibha Nayak. Please welcome.
Thank you very much. I am really pleased to be here in the Mudra Orthopedic and Ayurvedic Association, and I am really thankful to Dr. Sharma, Dr. Chasani for having invited us both here. First of all, આટલો મોટી સંખ્યામાં તમને ઉપસ્થિતિ જોઈને ખૂબ આનંદ થાય છે. અને જ્યારે વરસાદના આટલા વર્ષના વરસાદમાં બરોડાથી નીકળ્યા ત્યારે અમને એવું હતું કે 5-20 જણા હશે તો પણ કશો વાંધો નહીં, અમે અમારું લેક્ચર પૂરું કરીને આવીશું. પણ I am really surprised and very happy to see such an active and enthusiastic association. And see, now my topic is recent advances. So my recent advances in hematology and oncology, but I will try to make it as simple as possible. અને આપણે બધા 10 વાગે જમી લઈએ એવી રીતથી તમે બધા અમારો લેક્ચર પસાવી. So you will not take much time. No, but we don't want to stretch it very long and make it very short and simple, so that everybody can understand. And the message that I want to convey to everybody. See, when we are saying recent advances in hematology and oncology, by that I mean that what newer drugs or what newer treatments are now we are doing for our hematology and cancer patients. Because everybody in Godhra, in every association, and especially the family physicians are the first to treat any cancer patient, because the treatment is very long. So most of the time they require a lot of support, ancillary support in the form of painkiller, supportive medicine. So they are always coming to you. But you should be aware that now how the treatment paradigm is changing, how we are shifting our treatment of cancer and hematology. So that is very important for you to be aware of, because when we prescribe these drugs, or they are prescribed by some other doctor from Tata Memorial or Gujarat Cancer Institute, then you should be fully aware how they are working and what is the purpose of writing these medicines. So the main thing is that when these drug companies are coming up with these drugs, there are three things. One is preventive. How preventive oncology is helpful in our society. Second is targeted care. We all know that we are treating cancer and hematological malignancy with standard chemotherapy. So what is targeted therapy? And third is the treatment toxicity and how we can reduce the treatment toxicity. Prevention, we all know that when we have a patient, we are prescribing pills. But what we can do to our patients to know that these are the subset of patients who can develop cancer. See, now we are aware that in families, especially in communities of Godhra and Dahod, because there are large Muslim communities, large Gora communities, and in these communities there are a lot of consanguineous marriages. They marry within the families, within the first cousin, second cousin. So the gene pool is not diluted. The gene pool dilution doesn't happen. So what happens is that certain diseases, they run in the family, like breast cancer. So if one sister has breast cancer and she is married off to her aunt's son, then obviously the aunt who is already carrying the carrier gene special tests. These tests were initially very expensive and not affordable, but now they are in range of at least upper middle class population. They are known as BRCA1 and BRCA2 mutations. So in familial breast cancer, when it runs in the family, we can go for these mutations and we can actually predict by 95% accuracy that who is going to develop breast cancer. You must have heard her name, Angelina Jolie. Now she underwent bilateral mastectomy. Why? Because she had BRCA1, BRCA2 mutation positive. So she had a 95% chance of developing breast cancer. But these people are crazy because they are Americans. And Americans are known for their craziness. So immediately after mastectomy, she underwent reconstruction. I wish she was my patient. So my husband would have done the mastectomy and the reconstruction. So we would be having an island in Las Vegas. So BRCA1, BRCA2 mutation for familial cancer, because the baseline risk of developing breast cancer is 10 to 13%. Then first degree relative, if your first degree relative has breast cancer, the risk is 14 to 17%. But if there is BRCA1, BRCA2 mutation, the risk is as high as 85%. See, now when you have BRCA1, BRCA2 mutation, then only tamoxifen if you give to the patient, the risk covered is about 49%. The risk covered is about 49%. With mastectomy, the risk covered is 90%. Patient goes for both oophorectomy and mastectomy because the ovaries are secreting estrogen. The risk covered is 96%, and oral contraception is about 54%. So, recommended in case of family history. We don't recommend in all people. Suppose a diagnosis occurs in young women, then one should go for BRCA1, BRCA2 mutation to know what is the risk of developing cancer in the other breast. Then if there is bilateral breast cancer or multifocal breast cancer and breast and ovarian cancer in a single individual, then they should go for this mutation testing, especially in the family. Now how it is done? It is 20 ml blood is withdrawn and there are special laboratories that do the DNA extraction, and on this DNA that is extracted, they are seeing this mutation, and the result is given within 7 to 10 days. Now what is this? This is a drone. This is a drone. Now America is bombarding Afghanistan with these drones. So what is it? It is a target. It is a target to go and hit the target which is fed into the missile. Right? So why I am showing you this picture that certain are cancers like chronic myeloid leukemia. They have because of the translocation. Now what I showed you earlier was BRCA1, BRCA2 mutation that is preventive oncology. I am showing you the therapeutic oncology. Because in this what happens that chromosome 9 and 22 there is a translocation. From chromosome 9 to 22. So what happens is that there is gain in 9 and loss in 22. The chromosome at 22 is lost. Now this chromosome that is lost, it is known as 22q minus. Now the protein that this abnormal chromosome secretes, this tyrosine kinase, is abnormal, which will lead to proliferation of the WBC. So you will see a patient of CMS coming into you with very high count, 50,000, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, because 99% of patients have this mutation. Now the first wonder drug. Now these tests are carried out on peripheral blood or on the bone marrow, and most of the good laboratories in India are doing these tests. Now it is 100% specific test, so there can be no false positive or false negative. This is how the test looks like. Because we are doing it by FISH method. FISH is fluorescence in situ hybridization. When you see there is a translocation, you will see two signals, red and green signal. So this signal, hybrid signal, shows that there is a translocation. Now what is this? On our VVAC. It is the poster boy of oncology. Why? Because this drug VVAC acts against this transplantation. So initially the treatment of chronic myeloleukemia was bone marrow transplant, and now with this drug VVAC, 400 milligram once a day, taken for lifetime, you can cure CML. And the good news is that in our hospital, we have treated almost 35 patients, 45 patients, and we are giving the treatment free lifetime. 1 month therapy cost is 1.5 lakhs. 1.5 lakhs. One drug, one thing costs 5,000. You must have read in the newspaper, there was a big story about Novartis drug VVAC and the patent. So this is the drug, and we are giving the original Novartis drug to all our patients, and Santosh is taking care of all those patients daily. We just need 2 documents from the patient, and we have 45 drug patients receiving this treatment will be given free for lifetime. Now as we know that simple other tests, like this was the test which was done on the blood and the bone marrow. The other test that is done on breast cancer tissue is ERPR. This is the INC test. All those patients were ERPR positive, and once they have completed chemotherapy, they are put on tamoxifen. So why these tests are essential? Why I am showing you this? That what is the need to do all these tests? Because those who are ERPR negative will not require tamoxifen. So only those patients who are ERPR positive will require tamoxifen. Similarly, in patients of cancer of the colon, large intestine, cancer of colon and rectum, we are doing the KRAS mutation. That is done on the tissue. Like for CML, we are doing on the blood and the bone marrow. For all solid tumors like breast, colon, lung, we are doing on the tissue. What we need is just the blocks of the patient. Once the patient is diagnosed, we just tell the patient you get the blocks. Those blocks we send it to other laboratory for testing. And if this mutation is positive, then certain drugs will not work for the patient. But if there is a wild type mutation, that is another type of mutation, then certain drugs will help this. So, in metastatic colorectal cancer, this KRAS mutation was found in 20-50% of patients. So, it changed the whole treatment of colon cancer. Because if there was a mutation, cetuximab was not effective. But if it was a wild type mutation, then cetuximab is a drug which is freely available. It was very effective in treating these patients, and we could achieve a long-term survival of up to 5 years when we use cetuximab in these patients. Similarly, this was colon cancer, breast cancer, CML. Now we come to EGFR mutation. EGFR mutation, EGFR gene. EGFR stands for epithelial growth factor receptor. It is located on chromosome 7. What happens is that when there is EGFR mutation, there will be certain hormones which are secreted. So this we are doing on the block, and because of the mutation, the signal that is released will cause extensive survival of the cancer cell. So if you have to kill the cancer cell, you have to block the EGFR. And how can you block the EGFR? You have to first do the test. If the EGFR is positive, you have drugs like gefitinib, erlotinib, which can be given to block this mutation, and the cancer will die. So in non-small cell lung cancer patient, you can use drugs like gefitinib and erlotinib to patients who are EGFR mutation positive. So we treat normally lung cancer with chemotherapy, or we treat head and neck cancer with standard chemotherapy and radiotherapy. But some of the patients don't respond, or they will get back the disease. And chemotherapy and radiotherapy is not very effective because they are harboring these type of mutations. So first of all is we treat patients with chemotherapy, but the mainstay of any oncology or hematology treatment is we are also looking for the safety of the patient, because we don't want to give chemotherapy to kill the patient. We want to treat the disease. We don't want to kill the patient. So definitely we are taking care that chemotherapy, because it is acting on fast growing cells. And which are the fast growing cells of the body? The bone marrow, hair follicles and GI tracts. Every day millions of cells from the mouth are shed into the anus and then they are regenerated. Because chemotherapy acts only on dividing cells. Radiotherapy acts only on dividing cells. That is why all the rapidly dividing cells of the body are affected. So it causes bone marrow suppression, alopecia and lot of symptoms. That is why patients of chemotherapy come to you with diarrhea. See, what happens is, because the bone marrow is made up of red cells, white cells, platelets. The red cells go down, there will be anemia. The white cells go down, there will be infection. Platelets go down, there will be clotting and bleeding disorders. So any chemotherapy, you cannot prevent this. It has to happen. But as oncologists, we are trained to take care of these side effects. But if the patient has received chemotherapy and patient comes to you with fever, don't neglect the fever. First get the CBC done. First thing, get the CBC done. If the count is below 2000, total count below 2000, give one growth factor. Give one broad spectrum antibiotic. But if fever more than 100, please admit the patient. Give broad spectrum antibiotic. Mostly we prefer to give piperacillin tazobactam if the patient is very highly febrile, having diarrhea. And give antifungal also. Because all our patients will shed the mucosa also and they are very prone for opportunistic infection. So you have to combine third generation cephalosporin with antifungal and give growth factor, keep the patient hospitalized. If the patient is supposed in Godhra and you feel they cannot travel to Baroda, you can manage at your level. It is very easy. First get the CBC done. So it causes anemia, infection and easy crucibility because of chemotherapy. So, but some of the side effects are reversible. But you don't need to do anything like alopecia. Patient will lose hair all over the body, eyelashes, facial hair, scalp hair, all hair will be lost. But it is a reversible side effect. It is not irreversible. So you can tell the patient that you will get your hair back. So common GI symptoms, like patient comes to you, already they have taken chemotherapy outside and they will tell you that modu avi gayu chhe, swaad badai gayu chhe. It is okay. You can just prescribe them Visitac or multivitamin. But if they tell you there is lot of nausea and vomiting. See, if patient has nausea, vomiting with chemotherapy, normally we are giving in all patients antibiotic for 3 days. But you will be surprised that in chemotherapy patient, if there is excessive vomiting, best thing is give steroid. Why? Because most of the patients of chemotherapy that vomit 3 to 4 days after chemotherapy usually will respond to steroid. And you can combine it metoclopramide, that is Perinom. So that is the best combination, and ondansetron. Sometimes ondansetron doesn't work, then you can give steroid. If patient has diarrhea, don't ignore the diarrhea. First thing, get the CBC done. And don't give Lomotil without getting the CBC done, because if the counts are low, you have to add Metrogyl. Third generation cephalosporin, and sometimes count very low, add antifungal also. Give IV fluid, admit the patient. Don't neglect diarrhea in a chemotherapy patient. Because they are unlike other common patients. If you neglect the diarrhea, you may lose the patient. We cannot say that we are only favoring targeted therapy. Because chemotherapy is the mainstay of any cancer treatment. Now this patient was from Dahod. I will not name a very well-known doctor from Dahod. He came to me with this type of disease. Because there is a lot of fear in our society. They don't want to come forward and take the treatment. So normally we advise mastectomy, but in this patient mastectomy is not possible because of the gross size of disease. You can see this scar. This is we have done a biopsy. Why not FNAC? Why not only FNAC? Why go for biopsy in this patient? Because FNAC will also give you the result. But if I give chemotherapy to the patient and all the tumor goes away, I will not know what type of disease it was. ER status. Because if chemotherapy with this patient. She received 4 cycles and you can see everything is gone. Because chemotherapy works wonderfully. Then after that, Himanshu has done the mastectomy in this patient and also the axillary lymph node dissection. And after that, subsequently we gave her chemotherapy and she lived a long happy life. So what are the newer therapies? We cannot neglect chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is the mainstay of any cancer treatment, any hematological malignancy. But we don't need to know what are the newer therapies. So what is a newer therapy? It is a smart bomb. Like a missile. It will ફક્ત અર્જુનની આંખ જેવું તીર નીકળ્યું ને સીધું અર્જુન જેવું માછલીની આંખમાં જઈને વાળ્યું. Because what happens is when we give chemotherapy or radiation therapy, then it will destroy all the cancer cells. Or you can remove it via surgery. Or you can remove the metastasis also. But the newer therapies, they convert the tumor cells to normal cells. They halt the division, that is the mitosis, and they block the blood supply. Because if you block the blood supply, how will it receive oxygen and food? So these are the newer treatments. So newer, they target the tumor biology, as I told you. This is most important. The normal cells are not affected. Now if we saw all the side effects of chemotherapy, they don't occur with targeted therapy. So the definition is that it is only acting on the cancer cells. It is acting on the receptors, genes, the blood vessels, and the tumor here. Now what happens is every cancer cell to grow in size and to spread to other organs, metastasis, it needs blood supply. So this blood supply will cause it to grow in size and also spread to other organs. If you will block this, what happens? It will die. So this is known as anti-angiogenic effect. So there are wonderful drugs like Avastin, which is causing the blockage of these blood vessels. Similarly, there are other, as I told you, EGFR. EGFR are situated on the cellular surface. If you can block this, it will cause the cell to die, mainly in head and neck cancer and lung cancer. Now if you see that EGFR is overexpressed in colon cancer, lung cancer, head and neck cancer, gastric cancer, ovarian cancer, that is why there are wonderful oral drugs like gefitinib, erlotinib, which you have to take by mouth. Now they say that in non-small cell lung cancer, if patient has EGFR mutation positive, don't give chemotherapy. Just give this pill. It has to be taken lifelong till disease progression. Similarly, there are monoclonal antibodies which act on the cell and it will spare the normal cell, and these antibodies are very effective in all types of cancer. So we have this cancer cell where you have EGFR which is at the cellular level. So here you have the gefitinib, erlotinib, rituximab monoclonal antibody which is anti-EGFR. So what happens? It will block this ligand and it will cause the cell to die. Radiation and chemotherapy will act directly on the cell and causes the DNA damage. But again, some of the cells will escape it and grow for metastasis. Now other agents like anti-angiogenic agents will prevent the cancer cell from spreading to other organs.